the mental challenges of building an aerobic base and the struggles that you go through can be very immense. Talking about the time and effort that goes in to just running, you know, a half marathon or even a marathon, let alone trail races, and going into the ultra distance. It is not easy, right? So trying to find the time to run, dealing with the stress on the body the longer you go, what pace you should be running, how often you should be running, what you should be eating to fuel your runs for recovery and improvement. Look, these are just a few things. It doesn't even mention sleep, doesn't mention family life. Like, there's so many things that go into it, and trying to figure it out is hard. But the real truth in what it takes just for the average runner to run a marathon is nothing but astounding. I know, because I've run a couple of half marathons, even an ultra marathon. My name's David. I'm the Plant Powered Runner, and I'm continuing to train for these types of events, as well as weight loss, because there is also a big part in doing all these longer runs. Because if you're overweight, running is a challenge all in itself. Losing 50 pounds and training to run a marathon is not easy. Globally, it's estimated that only 1% of the population has actually completed a marathon. I know it's going to be hard. I know there's going to be a lot of disappointment. And I know that I can do it. It's just a matter of listening to what my body tells me to figure out what I need to change up, and when I need to change it up, when to be able to run faster, when to slow down. There's so many different aspects of training for a marathon. I know because I've run a number of them, and even an ultra marathon. That's a long distance, and there's a lot to it that I just need to put into practice once again. So I'm hitting the trails, I'm hitting the roads, I'm just doing what I can. But something happened, and I need to talk about it. Because if you don't listen to what your body tells you, you're in for a lot of trouble. Embarking on my training for running a marathon in, I think, probably October, is something that kind of scares me. But it scares me in a good way. I'm alive. I get to choose what I do. This is me having fun, and I love running. I don't think I've been this happy in a very long time. And the more I run, the more it reminds me of this is what I'm supposed to do. The next thing that I thought could possibly be was, look, I was fasting. Now, this was a longer fast. And I find that the longer my fast goes, it's harder for me to kind of break down fat as a fuel, because I haven't really been following my fasting protocol for a while. So yeah, that could be it. Dehydration could be it. The other thing is I think with, running uphill, that plays a significant part, because my heart rate just rises so fast when I'm going up a hill. I want something small. Not a lot of people. There is a Boston qualifier, but there's no way I'm going to qualify for Boston. This is going to be one just to kind of finish, to then build upon, right? Take it to the next level. Maybe there's going to be a couple of 10Ks that I can maybe race, maybe a half marathon somewhere. I really don't know. All I know is it starts with what I put in my mouth. And broccoli is a good thing to be eating, I'll tell you that. So between that and just drinking a little bit of soda water, it's like, carbonated water. Yeah. So anyways, that's the plan. So I just went to my chiropractor office and I got my workup done, or she looked after me. Yeah. So to go for a 15-minute appointment, it's 70 Canadian dollars. but my insurance covers 43 of it. So basically it's like 26 bucks to go. So that was good. I'm happy. She did wonders like always. But this was the first time in 5 years, or was it 4 years, that I've been in where I had a glute issue. And I realized that I had a glute issue. And when these things happen, I know when to take action and start healing myself. And so that's one of the things I felt. So on Sunday, the first part was perfect, was really happy with, but then the second half started to just fall apart. And I think that's again why I felt the way I felt this morning when I was out on my run, because I did another one of these. I don't know if it was a little bit faster, but I was filming a video and I felt it. So your body gives you clues, and if you don't pay attention to it, you may end up in the injury box for quite a bit of time. It takes discipline. It takes courage. It takes dedication. It takes a lot to run a marathon. And I'm flipping happy so much of the time when I'm out running. Yes, it can be hard, but man, the feeling of training for a marathon is something that I don't think you can actually put into words. It's more of a feeling. And the feeling that I get just lights up my day. So if I need to put it into words, I would say, get out and run. See you on the next one.
Running through emotions high and low, holding on or letting go, I'm fighting another day.
I was in a lot of pain. Like not pain, like injury pain, but muscle pain, like fatigue. It was huge. I couldn't think. My brain hurt. All these things were happening. So I literally just started saying, just let the pain go out your ears. Let the pain go out your ears. And that's what I kept repeating over and over and over again. Let the pain go out your ears. Pain go out your ears. I got this.
I don't even need to motivate this guy. He's got it all himself.
It was like it's like a kettle. As it was boiling, all the air, all the vapor was coming out the top. It's like an Instapot. Right, you undo the top and it just shh. So these are some of the things I was incorporating to be able to keep going. I'm not going to say it wasn't hard and that it was all easy, because it wasn't. Sometimes when you're chasing a big goal, you need to have friends to come along on the journey with you. You don't know when they're going to appear. You don't know if they're watching. You don't really need to do this alone. So if you're struggling, reach out to a friend. I'm sure they'll be happy to give you the push, the support, and the friendship that you need to be able to get to the finish line. Regardless of if it's in running, friendship, life, whatever. So here's to all of us, supporting each other on our crazy journey of life. Or get out and run. Everything that you know about running may be wrong. You may have been lied to. You may lied to yourself. Running faster doesn't always make you faster. In fact, it could be holding you back. For years, I've pushed too hard, trained too fast, and kept burning out until I learned the truth. There's a zone, a heart rate range, where your body transforms, where you burn fat, build endurance, and actually get faster by running slower. Today, I want to share with you some surprising science behind it, my experience, and it may just change the way you train forever. Hey, my name is David. I'm the Plant Powered Runner. I've been using the Maffetone method on and off for the last 5 years. I've been using Zone 2 running, training by heart rate at a low heart rate, trying to get faster. And I'll tell you something, A little secret, maybe not so much of a little secret for some of you. The truth is, it does work. And this is how. When I started training by heart rate, I thought I found the holy grail. But I also started to realize that this could be a problem for a lot of runners, specifically those who have played the part of no pain, no gain. We can only do it for so long. Dave, what is heart rate training? What is zone 2? Well, zone 2 is the second zone of 5 zones that I typically train in, and I know a number of other runners do as well. Have you ever gone out for a run and thought, you know, this is going to be the day that I'm going to run faster. This is going to be the day that I'm going to see the results I want. This is going to be the day that I break my PRs. This is going to be the day that I get on the scale and I've dropped so much weight. These go through my head all the time. But what I will tell you is running slow to get faster takes time. So you've been told to go faster, push harder, grind every mile like it's a race. But what if I told you that slowing down might actually be the secret for a weapon you've been ignoring to improve your running? Slow running isn't just for recovery, it's the foundation of endurance, strength, and happiness. So let me dive in and talk a little bit about my experience running slow and the hidden benefits that you get from this. Why faster isn't always better. Look, there's so much less pressure and burnouts and injuries that can happen when you run slow, and chasing speed on every run wears you down, your body, your mind, stress fractures, joint pain, chronic fatigue, like all of them. And the other thing is you lose the joy of running when every run is a competition, even with yourself, you know, like it's happened to me. And the thing is you miss the simple pleasure of the trail or a run through the neighborhood on a Sunday morning. To me, slow running equals steadier progress. Consistency is key. Slow runs can build that consistency, and consistent training yields real gains. So I'm in a new place today. I literally just finished work, and I wanted to talk to you about why your easy runs still feel hard, even if you've been running for a while. And it's a question that I've had for years, and you know, knowing what I know now, it really kind of makes things easier to understand. So if you've ever felt like your easy recovery jog is a hot mess of a run, I get you. You're not alone. And believe it or not, there are Olympic athletes out there that, you know, can go for a sub 5-minute mile, 10K, and her easy days are about 8:30 per kilometer, or sorry, per mile. And that's according to Runner's World. I think I'm going to get eaten alive when I'm on this trail. Don't know actually where it's going, but we'll see what happens. So look, even elites struggle with pacing strategy when it comes to runs sometimes. Now, if the pros have trouble dialing it back, it's no shock your easy days feel hard. And it's why your easy runs might actually be too hard. And how heart rate training and sneaky overtraining plays tricks, and even how extra weight or missed recovery can crank up. I didn't think slow running was working until this happened. Do you ever feel like you're doing everything right in your training, but you're still not improving? That was me. I ran slow. I followed heart rate. I stayed patient. And week after week, nothing. No faster, no lighter, no breakthrough, until one day, everything changed. I didn't add speed work. I didn't diet. I didn't train harder. I just kept going. And when I least expected it, the results kind of hit me like a freight train. I really wasn't expecting it. This is the comparison and proof that slow running works. And if you're feeling stuck, then you may need to see this. 3 months ago, I ran at a 10K pace that honestly really frustrated me. I was doing everything right, or at least I thought I was. Slow running, pay attention to heart rate training, be consistent, but I literally just felt still stuck in the mud. But fast forward to July, same distance, same heart rate, but something major happened. It was the same low heart rate, but this time I finished in 1 hour and 15 minutes. My average pace, 7:33 per kilometer, and that's 51 seconds faster per kilometer than April. And here's the kicker. My average heart rate was 144, virtually identical effort, but way more speed. That's what aerobic development looks like. That's what low heart rate training delivers if you stay patient. I don't know who needs to hear this. At 47, I felt tired, sad, slow, and completely burned out from trying to run fast all the time and change my life. I quit running. I gave up and I threw in the white towel. But was I really done? Had I really improved so much as a person that I could just stop? Look, I was down 100 pounds, 2 marathons in, a half marathon, a few 10Ks, but I was really tired from all the training. I was really tired from the training plans. Like really every moment of the day I was tired and I just wanted to sleep. But when I did go to sleep, I just kept looking at the clock, ticking by every hour, and then another and another. I just couldn't seem to get myself the sleep I needed. It didn't feel right. I was burned out. I couldn't do it anymore. I wanted to be this epic runner, but I just threw in the towel. 2 years went by, very sporadic running. 2 years of really nothing. But then something happened. I went for a run with a few friends and I realized, man, I was really out of shape. I didn't look good. I was gaining all the weight back. It was time that I did something totally counterintuitive. I started running slow, like the slowest I had ever been. And that decision to change my running, it saved my health, my mindset, and honestly, I would say my life. So I'll have to do the math for you, but this is what it would be in miles, right? This is where I was and this is where I went. And I thought, running, 8:34 per kilometer all the way down to like 5:34 per kilometer. That was something else. And again, this is what it is in miles. And so I became a firm believer in this way and how my pace at this heart rate of 138, like I said, I tried to cap it at about 140 just because I know technology wanes, right? Like it doesn't always work. Sometimes it spikes high and then it drops back down again. This was the process of burning fat as fuel, running slow to build this aerobic engine. So that way I could run faster over time. I started, it was 8:34 per kilometer. That was my pace, okay? And this is what it is in miles. I was slow. It was a snail's pace. It was almost faster if I walked. Not quite, but that's what it was. And so being overweight, being frustrated, being slower than molasses, it was bad, man. But it didn't really take long before it started to not be bad. It started to shift. It started to change. And with that change, I realized that patience was going to have to be the key component in this training. Now, there was a number of things that I needed to understand before I started, and those were your environment is going to adjust. It's going to deal with your heart rate being a lot higher. If it's colder outside, if it's warmer outside, if it's humid, if you've had coffee an hour before you run, if you have a poor diet and you're eating a lot of junk food, a lot of McDonald's, a lot of burgers, fries, a lot of bread, pastas, if you're a carb kind of eating machine like I was, that's going to play a factor in it as well. Break this down per month. September, I ran 122 kilometers. October was 201. November was 230. And December was really huge, and it was 477 kilometers. Now, I've put in what it is per miles in there as well, so you can actually see, because I know a lot of my audience is in the United States. So I understand I'll try to put that information out there. Now, my heart rate were all those months were between 137, 138, 139, 137. So, that aspect of it was fantastic. Now, if I look at the average pace that I was running per kilometer during those months, it fluctuated. So the first month, September, was 7:47, October 7:20, November went to 7:46. And the reason why November went to 7:46, because I started to include a number of fasting protocols. And that also carried over into December as well, because again, it was 741 in December. So like I said, I fasted for 15 days, split in from November into December. And so when I did that, I noticed that my heart rate went higher. I went slower because my body was shifting to more of a fat adaptation. And because that's all, it was burning my fat as a fuel source. So the weight started to drop as well. Because at the beginning of this, as I started at 211 pounds, October was 205, November was 201, in December it was 198. So there was a lot of things that were being accomplished, including my sleep. I went from 6 hours all the way up to 8 hours. My total time went from 15 hours all the way up to 61 hours of running. And that is a lot, because when I was fasting for 2 hours, I was running for 2 hours on the days that I was fasting. So as you can see right here, this is where I was fasting, okay? So my mileage for all of these started off, I think it was 8 miles. So basically 13.81 kilometers. And my pace per mile, 13 minutes, well, basically 14 minutes, or my average pace of 8:42 while I was dealing with this whole fasting thing. But over time, I started to get faster and I ran more mileage. And when I concluded my fast, I was running almost 10 miles, so 16 kilometers at a 7-minute 32 mileage, that was 7 minutes and 32 kilometer pace. And my mileage pace was 12 minutes, 7 seconds per mile. So a lot had started to shift and a lot had started to change. My body became more fat adapted and more efficient at burning fat as fuel. Now, I don't recommend everybody do this. This is just what I did because I wanted to kickstart things. I wanted to experiment. And this is one of the things I started to experiment with. No food, fully fasting, just having electrolytes, water every day for basically 2 weeks or 15 days. It was crazy. But I did it, and it's something that I'm happy that I did. But again, I wouldn't recommend it for everybody. Specifically, if you're training for a marathon or something like that, I wouldn't recommend this method at all. But it was something that I did and something that worked really well. Now, after Christmas, I thought, okay, I'm going to keep on running because things were kind of quiet with business during that time. So I used it as an opportunity to get out and to continue to run pretty much every day. And so when I concluded my January running through the snow, because again, I live in Canada and snow is in Ontario, my pace was 7:02 with a heart rate of 137. And I ran, see, this is where it gets crazy. I ran 490 kilometers. Now, when I think of that, it just blows my mind because it was 57 hours of running. And during that time, my weight went down to 192. Okay, my average sleep actually went up to 9 hours. And so heart rate was still 137. So I'm dropping continuously. February got even better. It was the average for the month of February was 640, 137, 352 kilometers, 40 hours of running. March, that's when everything kind of went sideways when COVID happened in 2020. And so my mileage kind of dropped because I didn't know what was going on and I just kind of started to bunker down at home. But in March, it was 652, heart rate 137, 130 kilometers, 13 hours of running, and my weight started to go up by 2 pounds. April, I said, screw it, time to get back at it. I went back up to 702, 140 heart rate. My mileage went back up to 308 kilometers, 35 hours of running. My weight started to come back down again. So like I always say, get out and run. We'll see you on the next one. Thanks for watching this one. I know it was long, but I think you got some good information in today's video.
Heading back to what used to be home. Passing by those little towns I know so well. Stopping for gas and then I'm behind the wheel again.